Hello and welcome to another episode of Toya Talks Wrestling. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Smackdown and see also who was going on to the next round in the last time is now tournament for John Cena's last opponent. But actually, I must say that this Smackdown was pretty solid, a pretty good Smackdown. Had some great matches. We had a match between JD McDonough and Ilya Dragunov for the US title for the US Open. That was a great match. Dragunov, the Mad Dragon, ended up winning that match. That was great. And DIY versus Fraxium was another good match. DIY ends up winning that match due to Candice LeRae interference. But those were some two good matches. Let's talk about the women's war games and how's that going. So we had where Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair basically having a talk because Alexa Bliss pretty much was like, y'all need to talk. They locked them in the room because Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair were walking, and they walked into a room and they saw like Rhea and Io, and they just said, and Alexa was like, y'all need to talk. So Io and Alexa Bliss ends up leaving, and they end up talking, and Rhea Ripley's like, look, I know you don't like me and everything else like that, so if you were trying to be the best, I was trying to be the best. Eventually we're gonna go back to that, I'm sure, but basically I'm ready to let bygones be bygones and let things be on the side while we deal with, you know, the Kabuki Warriors and Nia Jackson Lash Legend, right, and stuff like that. And you know, Charlotte Flair basically was like, yeah, okay, cool. It was kind of like last year when CM Punk and Roman Reigns had that meeting and stuff like that, and Paul Heyman's like, look, I called him in for the, you know, stuff like that. Kind of had that kind of like vibe, but like not really, but really, if you remember that. But it kind of had that kind of vibe for me anyway. And so later on, which actually they had closed the show, but we're gonna talk about it now. Later on, you know, they talked about, Rhea Ripley talked about how, you know, she trusts, like, you know, Io is her, like, her friend, so she trusts Io. Now she trusts Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, and they seem to be all on the same team and everything else and all this other stuff. I mean, what she had said, it could be questionable of whether or not they're actually on the same team and stuff like that, because I can possibly see at some point either Rhea Ripley, you know, accidentally hits Charlotte, or Charlotte accidentally hits Rhea Ripley during the match at War Games. I can see that kind of being a thing, so, you know, be on the lookout for that. But other than that, it was kind of like, there could be a story going on there and everything else like that. I don't think that they are going to turn, a lot of people are thinking about they're going to turn Charlotte heel. I don't think they're going to turn Charlotte heel. I don't think so. It's like, who's Jay going to fight at her in the end if they turn her heel? It'll make no sense, so I don't think that's going to happen. Anyways, they were out there because they wanted to introduce their 5th member of their War Games, and as they introduced her, obviously it was AJ Lee. I know, we're all surprised. Who knew it was going to be AJ Lee? I mean, I would have never known. Anyways, so AJ Lee's music comes out, and she comes out and everything else, and by this time you have Lash Legend, Nia Jax, Kairi Sane, and Asuka attack the 4 women in the ring. So they're getting attacked and everything else like that. And you know AJ is going over there because she's going to go help her team. And as so, she gets attacked by, of course, Becky Lynch, because, oh my god, once again, surprise, who knew? Wow, that's amazing. Anyways, so she goes and she gets attacked by Becky Lynch, and, you know, and everything else, and Becky Lynch pretty much knocks her out and everything else, and Becky Lynch goes into the ring, put she made Becky Lynch told Nia Jax to use the Annihilator on someone. I can't remember who was it. Rhea, was it AJ? I can't remember. Anyways, it was official. They all stand tall. Now it's pretty much the end of the night. But yeah, so those are your 2 War Games teams. I pretty much talked about that. What was it? On Tuesday or Wednesday, wherever I put that video out there. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I don't know. We got like one more week. We have one more week of next Saturday. So maybe they can stir up something like that and make it a little bit more exciting and everything else. But we'll see what happens. It seems like it should be a good women's War Games. You know, they have like a week to dabble and play with. So anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the tournament, because also in the tournament we have the stuff with the men's War Games as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about, this did not happen first, but I'm gonna talk about this one first. We had the Penta versus Finn Balor match, which, you know, we had Penta and Finn Balor fight before, so they have all the good job and everything else. Nobody came, and you know, JD did not come in and interfere with the match to help Finn or anything like that, and it ended up with Penta winning that match. It was a pretty good match, and Penta will be fighting Solo on Monday. Yeah, Penta will be fighting Solo on Monday, so there's that. Also, may I add, because I think Jay is fighting Rusev, and LA Knight would be fighting Sheamus, but unfortunately Sheamus got a shoulder injury, so he had to be pulled out. So now once again LA Knight has a mystery opponent. I don't know when that match is. That might be on Monday too. I'm not 100% sure. I forgot, but that's unfortunate. I don't know who they is, but we'll see. I have a couple of thoughts, but I'm just gonna keep it to myself. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyways, let's talk about I'm gonna get into the second tournament in a minute, but first let's talk about the men's War Games, because it kind of all blends in. So we had basically Team Vision, I guess you can call it, out there on the well, not all of Team Vision, because Drew McIntyre is suspended from Smackdown. Like I said, he got suspended like a few weeks ago. He can fight in the War Games, but he can't like fight in like the Smackdown when Smackdown's in like stadium or arena or whatever like that. So he wasn't there, but like Paul Heyman was there. The Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker were there, and Logan Paul was there. Obviously freaking Brock Lesnar wasn't there. He got better shit to do with his time. Anyways, so basically Paul Heyman was like talking and everything else like that, and basically here comes, and then talking about how great Logan Paul is and everything else and all this other stuff, and the rest of the guys, and Logan Paul was about to say something, and then the Usos come out, and they basically told Logan Paul, look, nobody cares what you have to say, okay, like hush. He's like, no one cares what you have to say and everything else like that. And then they talked to Paul Heyman and everything else like that. They talked to Paul Heyman, talked about, what are you talking about? Like, you're the greatest team. Like, you know that's not true and everything else like that. And then Paul Heyman's like, you know, 2 things, right? He's like, you made me mad because you interrupt me, and now you pissed off Logan Paul because he was about to say something and stuff like that, right? And then like Braun Breaker was trying to like hold back Logan Paul, even though Logan Paul wasn't even moving. He's like, you know, hold him back, like you get him pissed off and everything else like that, right? And Paul Heyman starts mentioning about numbers game and saying that there's 1, 2, 3, 4. He was counting himself, and I'm just thinking, why are you counting yourself? Oh, you know damn well you ain't gonna fight. Like, you're just gonna hide behind the Bronze and Logan Paul. Like, stop counting yourself as if you're in a fight. And then there's only space. But anyway, he's like, there's like 4 of us and 2 of you. And he goes, you. And then the Usos like, you think we came alone, right? And then Cody Rhodes' music plays, but there's no Cody Rhodes. And it's like, and then the camera goes and runs to the back and everything else, and you see Cody Rhodes is pretty much, he was not knocked out, but you know, he was Drew McIntyre pretty much attacked him, because Drew outside of the area, outside of the stadium, by the way, or the arena I should say, he didn't go inside, he was outside, and you know, had Nick Aldis right there, and he's trying to, like, you know, tell him revive Cody Rhodes and everything else like that. So, you know, and then, you know, the Usos go and running and everything else like that. And the Braun Breaker's like, look at him, he's still running. He's still running. I just started laughing. I don't know why that was funny to me. But they finally get to Cody and they're like, what happened and everything else like that. And then, like, Drew McIntyre's in the car. He starts laughing and they start pretty much trying to take the car, but it's like, whatever. And you know, it was like, okay, so that happened, right? So then they went to the next day. But so later on, right, Nick Aldis went up to Bronson Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman. And, well, basically the whole War Games team pigeon besides the other 2. And he was like, what happened? Like, what's going on and everything? Like, what happened? He goes, you know what? He goes, I can't do anything about Drew McIntyre being on your War Games team because, you know, it's a different target, but he is not allowed to be, but he is suspended from Smackdown in this arena. And Paul Heyman was like, well, we respect the rules. We always respect the rules, but he wasn't in the arena. He was outside. So you can't get mad at him for being outside if he attacked Cody from outside. That was his doing and everything else like that. He's like, and then Nick Aldis was like, you know what, I would have you, you know, escorted out of here by security, but since you have to be here because of the tournament and everything else like that, I value that there will be no funny business and stuff like that. And he goes, we don't need to do funny business, we don't need to do all that stuff. That's what Paul Heyman was telling Nick Aldis, we don't need to do all that, you know, and everything. So then they had their match. It was for the like I said, for the tournament for the John Cena's Last Time Is Now. It was Carmella Hayes versus Bronson Reed. Man, this was so fucking good. It was so fucking good. I love this match so much. You know, they had a good back and forth and everything else. It seemed like as though like Carmella Hayes was getting the best of Bronson Reed and everything else. And then you have basically Braun Breaker, Logan Paul, and Paul Heyman come out and around the ring area and, you know, stuff like that. So now it is Bronson Reed is basically, after like they had a commercial break, it was basically Bronson Reed that was taking over and all this other stuff. And it ended up like, you know, obviously at times Logan Paul was trying to, you know, distract the ref, right? Braun Breaker did something or vice versa and everything else. And it comes to the point where like Carmella Hayes fell outside the ring. And here comes Braun Breaker. He's getting ready to spear the fucking shit out of Carmella Hayes. And by the bell, here comes the fucking Usos. And, you know, they get basically super kicked fucking Braun Breaker. And then they started attacking Logan Paul and everything else like that. And then Bronson Reed was about to, you know, go and attack Carmella Hayes and stuff like that. And then here comes Cody Rhodes, and he comes out and he pretty much causes like a huge distraction and a chaos and all this other stuff. And then I think Carmella Hayes ended up winning by count out. He goes, like I said on Wednesday, that Carmella Hayes would probably be the upset win when you probably think that Bronson Reed is sure to win. But I was like, you had to figure out that at some point the War Games team would have to have some kind of like an effect into that match with the upset. Bronson Reed was probably sure to win, but Carmelo Hayes won, so he will be moving on, and he'll be fighting Gunther. Yeah, he'll be fighting Gunther. I don't know about, I think it's next Friday, so that should be a good match, and maybe that should be a good match, and I'm looking forward to that. I don't know when that match is going to be. We'll find out, I guess. After that, basically the Team Punk was standing tall and everything else, and then Cody Rhodes basically just cut this fucking ruthless promo with basically he was just saying like fuck you and fuck your teams and all the other stuff, and fucking Steiner will never be better than a Rhodes because Braun Breaker is a Steiner, right? He just calls himself Braun Breaker, but and everything else like that. I mean, Cody Rhodes had adrenaline in his soul. I love Cody Rhodes like that. I love badass, don't give a fuck, I will fuck everybody up, let's fucking go Cody Rhodes. I always want fucking Cody Rhodes at that 100% fucking Cody, because it's just the best fucking Cody. It's like, it gets you fired up. But it gets you fired up, and it's like, yes, Cody, you tell her. Fuck the Steiners, right? You're the Cody Rhodes. But now I'm more excited about these War Games. Like, at least the men's one, because it got me all fired up and everything else like that. It was a good promo, and I really enjoyed it. And you know what? Congratulations to Carmelo Hayes. I think your next stop stops there, because you're going against Gunther, and I think Gunther is going full out. Maybe it depends on who in the hell LA Knight is facing. I would imagine LA Knight would have to be facing like a heel of some sort. But I'm just like, who could it be? Unless they get someone from like TNA again. That'd be crazy. But then like, who would they get from TNA? Who would they have get? Unless they get Joe Henry. That would be crazy. But Joe Henry's on TNA where he's a WWE star, and I think he's doing his own thing with like, getting like the mixed tag match from this whatever, the AAA thing or some shit like that. So he might be a little bit busy, but yeah, that was Smackdown. Smackdown was very good. I enjoyed it. Anyways, next Saturday it is Survivor Series, so that means next Thursday Tim and I will be talking about the prediction. We'll have our prediction show and everything else. As of right now, I think there's only 4 matches, so I don't know if they add another one or not. They're going to add a 5th match. I know they had 5 matches last year, so I don't see why they could not just pretty much add a match on there, but we'll see. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.